All right. Good afternoon. We're going to get set up here the best we can. I'm going to get my little spec set here done. All right. Welcome to Networking in the 417. I'm Trina Wilcox and Michelle Rickman is MIA. So just hopefully we will find her soon. In the meantime, my guest, Keisha Messina, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So you've been networking a long time.
Yes.
So tell me about what your experience has been like, and especially with this new chapter you're coordinating and everything. Like, we're just going to jump right in and talk about it.
I've been networking in the Springfield area for probably 10, 11 years now. Professionally, I started as a direct salesperson.
Yeah.
And then I've done a couple of different things throughout the years. I networked for networking at one point when I was working with We & Co. So I've been with Country Financial Insurance for the last couple of years, and I was an office assistant for about a year and a half. And then this past January, I opened my own agency in Rogersville. And so knowing how hard it is to find a property and casualty insurance seat, like for home and auto and that kind of thing, I knew ING was a good fit for me. But I also knew that I probably wouldn't find a PNC seat. So I just decided to create my own.
Yeah.
And knowing that Rogersville didn't have a whole lot going on. I won't say they have nothing going on because they don't have a couple of groups, but they didn't have anything like ING going on. And so I thought it was a good time. I'd actually been talking to Jerry for a couple of years about starting my own chapter, and she probably rolled her eyes when I messaged her this time and was like, okay, lady. But
well, it was funny because I know more than once too. I had talked to a couple of different people and like, you need to start one in Rogersville. Somebody needs to have one in Rogersville because it's such a hub for the surrounding counties and small towns that are growing. And sometimes people just don't want to go all the way to Springfield, but that is just a good place for everybody to come together.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. So we've got folks from just kind of all over Webster County, but also Greene County. So it's a good mix. We have some folks from Springfield still, but we also have folks from like Fordland and Marshfield. We have one person in particular from Marshfield that is from the Marshfield Mail, which is a newspaper.
Yeah.
And she comes out, her name's Tiffany Jones, and she comes out and talks to us about the newspaper. And it's really cool and exciting to see that that's still thriving in today's world.
Yeah.
And she's really passionate about it. So I'll send her over here to talk to you next.
Yeah, she'll have to come talk to us. And I bet that is great too, because, you know, she might not be able to make it all the way to some of the other cities and groups and
yeah, we had interest like really quickly. I just made a Facebook post that said, hey, we're starting this and these are the industries that I'd like to have. And I think our first meeting we had like 20 people or more show up. Now, a chunk of that, and this is why I love ING, a chunk of that were existing ING members that came out just to love on us and show support and help us grow it. And I'm so happy they did that because I don't think that first meeting would have been very good without that support. But yeah, there are folks that exist in this area with ING, like Alan Evans and John Tebow and Alessandro De Luca. Like those guys are my brothers. I think of them as my big brothers that came in to just like huddle around us and help us learn. And Michelle, of course, and Jerry. And so it's been a great experience, and we've just grown and grown and grown.
Great. I've got more questions. First, I want to let people know that we want to thank Vino Cellars for letting us hang out here. You just got some refreshments. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a cool place to be. So if you want to come hang out and work here, and then in the evenings, they have live music, all kinds of stuff going on. And if you are watching, let us know what chapter you belong to, or if you're not, if you're looking around, let us know what you're looking for in a networking group and your business. And if you have any events going on, we'd love to give it a plug, a shout out. And which brings me to you starting this networking group in Rogersville. What was it like to get it going, and tell us about some of the growth that you've already seen? Because I know some things have already changed since you started a few months back.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little scary at first because I didn't know what the response would be like. I thought that we'd start out with like 3 or 4 of us and it would take us a long time to grow. And so we put that message out there on Facebook, and there was a lot of interest. And then, like I said, we had a bunch of people that first meeting, and probably our first like 7 or 8 members came from that very first meeting. And since then, as of last week, we've grown to, I believe, 14 with a possible 15th coming to visit next week. And so we were meeting at Empire Coffee. Shout out to Carlo, Empire Coffee there in Rogersville inside Figgy's. And it wasn't a private room, but it was perfect because it was just this nice, intimate little coffee bar. There wasn't a lot of traffic at 2 p.m. in the afternoons when we were there. So it was a good place for us to get to know each other, but we quickly outgrew that space. And so 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago now, we had to change. We went to a boardroom at Southern Bank. They're, oh my gosh, sorry. They're in Rogersville. And then just this past week, or this week, talking with my team there, they've all decided that noon would be a better time. And that we want to do lunch. If we're going to spend an hour and a half together in the middle of the day, we should eat some Mexican food. So, I still need to put this to a vote, but I think we're going to be meeting at a Mexican restaurant at noon every Tuesday. So that's the growth that we've had.
And the name of your chapter?
Wildcats Chapter.
Wildcats Chapter.
Rogersville Wildcats.
Yes. I graduated from Rogersville, so I remember being a Wildcat. That's right. I forget. We just missed each other.
Yes.
Sure. But that brings me to the announcement that my new chapter, I'm coordinating with Alessandro De Luca, who you may know as Alex, from his marketing background and then Italian Kitchen Time. And he's still back with marketing. He never really stopped marketing. So we will be starting the Agile chapter, which will be Tuesdays at 9 to 10:30. And we're starting out at Neighbors Mill. So we're looking forward to seeing how we can serve the group there and hopefully see the growth that you've got to see and that so many chapters get to see. And
I've talked to a lot of folks that are interested in finding a chapter or even a second chapter. So I'm definitely going to try to visit. And then if there's any holes that I can help fill, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah. So since you've done a lot of networking, what are some of the things that people that have never done it before should be looking for? Because sometimes people think they just have to do it no matter what. If they don't like it, I still have to do it. Or they just straight up won't do it at all. They think, no, it's terrible. I'm not doing that. So what are some of those things that where they can feel like they're comfortable enjoying it, having a good fit and getting benefit?
Yeah. So, I'm going to borrow a phrase from, Yana Hanneman with We & Co. Right for you, right for us, right for all, is a huge lesson that I've learned in networking. And so, what I mean by that is if you are visiting a group, you need to make sure that it's right for you, that you can refer to all the people in the room and that you can see yourself receiving referrals back from them. And then the vibe has to be good. Like you have to feel like you have a rapport with those folks and that you want to do business with them. The best way to do that, I think, is those one-on-ones that are always recommended. So meet with the people in those chapters, go through their sales process with them. But be very honest, like, hey, this isn't a service I need at the moment, but I'd love to know what your process is like so I know what I'm referring my customers to. And then also look for what makes sense for you budget wise. There's so many options, like from the $100 a year that it is for ING to all the way up to some of the more expensive ones that are thousands of dollars for the year. And there's nothing wrong with any of those price points, but it has to make sense for where you are with your budget in your business. And you have to feel like you're getting the best return of, ROI on that. So, that's the thing. And visit a couple times. If you go to any group with any networking company and they want you to join that moment and they're not going to let you visit 1 or 2 times, like that might not be, that might be a little bit of a red flag.
Because it's hard to get a vibe just right off the bat the first time you visit, because first of all, not everyone could be there, or someone, we had talked about this one other time, the vibe just may be off. Some people may not feel great, so the whole room's down or something like that. So, give yourself a chance to kind of sit in a different place and talk to a few different people and
and don't write off like a whole organization if the first group you visit isn't your group. Like ING has tons of chapters. And so I think it's important that you visit multiple chapters and find your home. Or if you have the ability to, or the I don't want to say courage because it's not hard. But it is a little bit of extra work, not a ton. But if you can't find your seat at an existing table, build your own table and invite your people.
Yeah.
That's what I did in Rogersville.
Yeah.
And it's working great.
That's great. And then find people that will support you too, like Jerry and ING getting behind you to do that.
Yeah.
To build that table. Give you the tools to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
When your business is like so many other businesses, how do you filter through the noise? Because like you were saying, you know, there's insurance, there's the realtors, there's the commercial, there's the residential. How do those individual people not give up when they know that there's so much competition out there?
You have to think about what sets you apart in your field. And what that is you.
Yeah.
You are the difference. And really dive into yourself, find out what, and if Michelle were here, she'd be laughing at me because we just had a conversation about this and I'm personally not good at it. I am still working on it. But figure out your why, figure out why you love the work that you do. And then that is what you're presenting to people.
Yes.
So I have another insurance agent in my chapter. His name is Ryan Armstrong. He's with Southern Insurance. He handles the commercial seat in our chapter, and I handle the PNC. And, you know, I don't think of Ryan as competition. We can both write the same types of policies.
Yeah.
But Ryan has been just like a mentor to me and a friend. I'm newer in the industry than he is. And so he's been somebody that's really helped me. And you don't know what kind of relationships that you can build until you figure out what it is about yourself that you want to give out to the world, and then put yourself in a room with trusted people to help you build on that.
Yeah.
So figure out your own brand and don't worry about your competition, even if they're in the same room with you.
That's something Michelle's actually been talking about. I don't know if you've seen her posts about illuminating.
Yes.
And lifting up other people and collaborating instead of competing. And I get that we all work so very hard as entrepreneurs and doing our new business, and we want to excel.
Yes.
So sometimes your instinct is to, no, leave me alone. Let me do this. Don't get in my way. But if we would collaborate and say, you know what, you know stuff about this. How can we help each other? That maybe you can both climb up that ladder.
Absolutely. That's the kind of culture that I try to put in our group.
Yes.
And I think we've done that very well. Because nobody's really felt like they are competing with anybody, even though there's some of us that overlap a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. And just knowing your own brand and knowing why you're different is the big key there, but be flexible in that too. Like don't change your principles or your morals, but be flexible around like the path to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to change that up a little bit.
What are some of the things that other networking groups expect out of their members? Because I know I haven't been a member of numerous networking groups, but I've heard things about how some of them expect you to do certain things, meet certain quotas. And I know for me, I don't have my time budget is limited on things. So we've got a fly runner right here. So what are some of those things, and how can an individual figure out what's best for them when it comes to that and their time budget?
So what I would say to that is research whatever group you're going to and find out if you're really a go-getter, which you probably are if you're looking at networking anyway. There's a possibility that you're going to be asked to be in a leadership position at some point. So really research whatever group you're going into and what that takes and what those expectations are, and decide if that's a role that you want to be in, and be very upfront. But some of the other groups I've visited have been really specific about like specific numbers. Like they want you to say, I close this amount of business, like $1 amount.
Oh.
And move forward with that. And I feel like I can see the wisdom in that a little bit, because I think it gets people excited when they hear those big numbers. But in some of our industries, the number of business that we close is not the amount of money that we bring home.
Yeah.
So I can say that I've closed $1 million life policy, but that's not my commission.
Yeah.
That's not how much money I made.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that Bob referred me $1 million, take home pay. Like that's so, and I think it's just that can get a little weird for some people.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And then, yeah, those leadership qualities for some people, or not qualities, but positions for some groups, like they do require almost to the point of being a second job.
Yeah.
You know, it's anywhere from 5, 10, 20 hours a week extra.
Yeah.
And if you have that to give, and that's the system that works for you in your business and in that group, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think especially those of us starting out, I'm only 6 months in.
Yeah.
I don't have an extra 20 hours to give to a networking group.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. So how is your business personally been benefiting from networking?
Wow, it's been fantastic because more people just in the Rogersville area know who I am now because I've introduced myself through this group. So people that I never would have gotten to meet now know who I am and what I do and can share that information in our community. And then, aside from the referrals and the like dollar amounts, again, just having the support of other people in my industry, helping to teach me and mentor me a little bit and, be there for support has been great for my business because as any new business owner knows, when you're first starting out, you know, it's very nerve wracking.
Yeah,
like, okay, how long do I really want to do this? What did I just sign myself up
What have I done?
for? But having support of other people that have been where you've been, I think the best opportunity we have to meet those folks is through networking.
Yeah.
And, you know, fill your space with people that have been doing what you're doing way longer than you've been doing it.
Yeah.
And that's been really helpful.
Let's see. I had another question. Oh, here's a question I have. And I was hoping Michelle would be here. We may have to ask her again next week. But what are some ways that we can help in networking support small businesses or people within our networking groups without physically or, you know, without buying directly from them, or maybe they have a service that you flat out don't need, but you do want to support them and you like them because people give to people,
right?
You know, so what are some of those ways that we can be creative and support, get the word out without, you know, using their service if it's a service we don't need?
Yeah. We live in such a technical world now, obviously.
Yeah.
So one of the things I think you can do is just share posts on social media, whether that's Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you see those posts. If you run across it, heart react, laugh react, whatever the appropriate reaction is. Don't just give a thumbs up because that doesn't boost their algorithm. And comment.
Yeah.
Comment on there, something specific. Even if you've not used their service, speak to who they are as a person. And then share it. And, that helps a lot. If somebody is having an event for their business, show up if you possibly can. If they're doing a ribbon cutting for their business or they're sponsoring an event, show up if you can. Just be present with them. And, that helps sometimes more than one person buying because then you're giving the gift of free advertising. Really.
Yeah.
So I think those are some of the best ways.
Good. What else have we not talked about? Let me see.
Oh my goodness.
The floor is yours. What do you want to share about?
Oh,
do you have any events or anything? Have you guys?
So, Country Financial, the Messina Agency with Country Financial, that's the name of my business. We specifically don't have anything happening just yet.
Okay.
I'm working on possibly rolling something out early fall. But I don't want to share the details yet because I'm not sure.
Teaser.
Yeah, teaser. Keep an eye on the socials. It's going to be fun and outdoors, if we do it. So, but, one thing that I do want to share, I don't think she's an ING member, but a very good friend of mine, Michelle Kramer, is doing a benefit for On Angels Wings.
Yes.
And if you're not familiar with On Angels Wings, just really quickly, that is a service where Michelle and her team provide, family memory photos for families that are experiencing infant loss or who have a baby with like a life altering diagnosis when they're born. And sometimes those photos are the only photos they ever get to have. And she wants you to have that good memory. And they also share, ongoing mental health support, during, you know, what the family is experiencing. So they're having a gala July 19th and they need all the love that they can get. And I actually have my own private, donation link for that.
Oh, okay.
There's like a little competition going on for those of us that are able to help raise money for that gala. So you can reach me at keisha.messina@countryfinancial.com if you would like that link. All the money obviously goes to help them. I think there's like a prize for me if I happen to be the top person, but any like dollar amount thing that I get, I'm going to give.
There we go. We're back. Hi, Christy. I thought I saw someone else. Russell, hello. Thanks for watching. So your link, and it's
KEISHA.MESSINA at countryfinancial.com. Just shoot me a message and I will send you the link if you're interested to donate to the On Angels Wings gala that's happening July 19th.
Okay.
And I can also give you more information about the organization, but that's something that's really important to me too. So I want to make sure that I shout them out. And
yes, and I'm glad you did that. Reminds me to connect with Michelle. I need to have her on and talk about it.
Absolutely.
And make sure we get people, going to that and supporting it. It's a great cause. She does a lot of great stuff in the community. So
she does. And she's a very, very talented photographer and just a fun human.
She's a talented human. She's
so sweet and fun. And
Good. Okay. Well, there you have it. I think that's all we have for today.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. You guys, if you'll join us next week, we'll have another fun, exciting topic. If you would like to come on and talk about your networking group, your business, we'd love to have you here. It's a great way to share with other people about what's happening networking wise around us in our own groups, outside of our own groups, and we can just support each other and grow together. So we hope to see you at the Agile chapter next Tuesday. We'll be at Neighbors Mill at 9:00 if you can come and check it out. We'd love to have you there. Until then, we'll see you next week. Bye guys. Thanks.